Hi, beautiful people. Good morning. I don't know how much of this video I'm gonna get through right now. Honestly, I'm gonna try, and if not, then I'm gonna have to finish it later today. But I'm gonna try. So, Donald Trump spoke about the Trump accounts. I've spoken about those Trump accounts with the kids before. I'm gonna play that for you. It was Janet Jackson. What were you watching, Dr. Manhattan? I don't know how I'm gonna get through these videos tonight. So I don't know. If I end it abruptly, don't be mad at me. But it's 1:20 in the morning. My sleeping schedule is off. Now, Ilhan Omar, I wanted to play that earlier for you guys. And so she did speak about the attack, the alleged attack. Some people are saying it's staged. Some people are saying it was not. I don't know. I don't know. But nevertheless, you guys know how I feel. People have the right to speak without being attacked. What's going on with Janet Jackson, Dr. Manhattan? So yeah, you guys, we're gonna have to get into this video as usual. I'm gonna go on mute because I gotta use my phone to communicate with y'all. Nah, John Guest, what's that mean? Nah, what you talking about? All right, you guys. So Ilhan Omar, the representative, I don't know if it was staged or not. I don't know. It's not for me to say. It's not for me to say. Good morning, Uncle Claude. Good morning. Let me get into my video, you guys, because it's kind of long and I need to go to bed. It's not that long. So we're going to watch Donald Trump. And then if I can get into it, we'll talk about Ilhan Omar. And if I can't, we'll talk about it later. Nicki Minaj spoke with Donald Trump. And she stands strong in her support, you guys, even though people wanted to cancel Miss Nicki. Oh, I know. I look a mess today. I know. Omar nodding at him. Well, I'm gonna talk about Dr. Hen. I'm gonna talk about that, but we gotta start the day off with Donald Trump. It's kind of a hard decision, but I'm more interested in the Trump. Oh, let me shut up. Everything else changed for educational for each purposes only. Let's get into it and try to be respectful, please. Okay. I think I'm gonna come off camera because I'm gonna freeze. So here we go.
All the way, fantastic guy. He's never been a man that made so much money from one song. I'm happy about it. But I'm delighted to be back in the beautiful Mellon Auditorium. Wonderful family. Tim Mellon is a great guy. He's the current version of the Mellons. A fantastic person. To celebrate a thrilling new milestone for America, the first generation of Trump account children. Trump account children. For the first time ever, we're going to give every newborn American child a financial stake in the future, head start to life, a fair shot at the American dream, something people don't talk about so much, at least not for the last 4 years they haven't been, but now they're talking about it big this last period of time. It's been unbelievable. When you see what's going on with our economy, the tremendous investments that's been made in our country. We have over $18 trillion coming in. The most, I think, was 3. It was 10 years ago, another country, not even our country. We have $18 trillion, and we have thousands of businesses being built all over the country, and hundreds of massive plants, so big, car plants, AI plants. With the support of the men and women here, this beautiful room, over the next 15 years, we're going to put $3 to $4 trillion of wealth into the hands of young Americans who otherwise would have really started out with nothing. It's really an amazing thing because it gives young children that start out with really nothing, and we gives them, boy, it's more money than anybody could imagine. From their standpoint, they'll have a real start in life, and that's why decades from now, I believe the Trump accounts will be remembered as one of the most transformative policy innovations of all time. And I've done a lot of them. The tax cuts, we've done a lot of them, more than I think anybody. And I think this is going to be one of the most outstanding. Last summer, I signed the great, big, beautiful bill delivering. It made this possible, too. It actually made this possible. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to do this. Delivering the largest tax cuts in American history, including no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And, we did another thing. When you buy a car now, you get a deduction on the interest payment if you borrow money. So think of it, rich people get so many deductions. I'm the king of deductions. I love deductions. But people, middle-income people, never had a deduction before. Now they're getting a deduction on interest. They buy a car. That's going to have a huge impact on the automobile. By the way, there's one proviso. It has to be made in America. If the car is made in another country, no thank you. But they're all going to be made in America pretty soon because we have factories coming in from Canada, Mexico, Japan, Germany, all over Europe. They're all coming here to make their cars because they don't want to pay tariffs. Very simple. It wasn't very complicated. You'll see those numbers starting to produce. That's why you see these massive construction numbers. And soon when those things start opening, you're going to see employment and you're going to see wealth creation for middle-income people like you've never seen before. Every single Democrat in Congress voted to raise taxes on hardworking citizens. Their whole campaign was raise taxes. I've never heard of it before. All my life I grew up and I hear politicians, we will cut taxes. This is the only group I've ever seen, we're going to raise your taxes. No wonder they lost. Actually, there are other reasons also. But together with the majorities in the House and Senate, we overcame their obstruction and we put more money into the pockets of every working American than anyone thought even imaginable. Perhaps no provision of the great big beautiful bill will prove more consequential than Trump accounts. Under this program, the US government will automatically create a tax-free investment account for every newborn American child, something that nobody really would have even thought of. There were some brilliant people that thought of it for a long time. They're here with us today. We're going to introduce a couple of them. But nobody really, I mean, I've had friends, the top people in business, they came up to me, whose idea was this? This is great. They said, I never thought of that. We'll fund those personal accounts with a seed contribution of $1,000, which will compound and grow over the course of their lives and could grow into very, very substantial numbers. Parents, employers, churches, states, and loved ones will also be able to add up to $5,000 in additional money for those accounts. And with every modest contribution, Trump accounts should reach at least $50,000 in value by the time the child turns 18 and could be very substantially more than that. With slightly greater contributions, the typical account will grow to 100,000, 200,000, and can even grow up to past $300,000 per child. And we think most likely, the most likely case is in the 200,000, 300,000 range. The size and scale of this wealth will dwarf all government programs ever created to benefit America's youth. There's never been anything like this. That's why everybody's talking about it. Even really people that truly hate me are making this investment. One person hates my guts. He put $1 billion into it. I said, you must like this program a lot because you can't stand me. I said, I do, but I do like you more than you think. They liked me more in the last year than they liked me before. Although we had a great first term, you can't forget that. We're the greatest economy in the history of our country, but this is blowing it away. So. Thank you. $5 billion. That's $6 billion, 250. Even the 250 is a lot of money when you think. I mean, you know, Nikki, do you hear that money? That's big even compared to wrapping all the money she.
It's frozen, you guys. Hey, he comes to this chat, Dr. Manhattan. I know, but you don't have an email. I will explain to you. Hey, is my video frozen, you guys? Can y'all see my video? Okay, I'm gonna play it again, but let me know. Where are my Trump bucks? Fool, you're not 10 years old. Okay, let me try it again. Let me know if it's frozen. I was getting into it, but if y'all can't hear it, I don't know. It's frozen? Ugh. Okay, don't. Okay, let me try it again, you guys, and let me know right away if it's frozen.
She's hearing a number like that. She'll say, how many songs do I have to make to catch that? But amazing thing, $6,250,000,000 to fund Trump accounts for an additional 25 million children aged 10 and under. And that's Michael and Susan Dell, two incredible people. Where are you, Michael? Where's Michael? Stand up, Michael. What a great guy. What a great guy. You know, I tell you, he didn't do it for his business. He did it, I guess, probably would have been better off not to. That's a lot. But you know what? I hope everybody goes out and buys Dell computers. My son, I told you, Barron, he loves that computer. I don't know what the hell you're doing to it, but he likes it. But I just want to thank you very much, and Susan. It's unbelievable, really unbelievable what you've done. So Michael and Susan made this donation in recognition of America's 250th anniversary because there's no better way to honor America's history than to invest in America's future. That's what they did. And this is perhaps the largest, one of the largest, certainly, but perhaps the largest private donations of all time. That's a lot, $6,250,000,000. And somebody did say that. A friend of mine, very rich, he's going to put up $100 million. And he said, you know, think of it, the 250 that Michael has is a lot more than mine. And I haven't even talked about the 6 billion. But anyway, it's amazing when Michael can start off with very little money and build a fortune where he can, you know, routinely make such a payment and investment in the youth. Michael, you're great. Thank you, man. Thank you. And I also want to say hello to and thank some very special people that have been with my administration and really become friends of mine. On occasion, I have little arguments, but generally, I would say really good. And who's doing, and start off with a man who's doing a phenomenal job, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Scott, thank you very much, Scott. And he loved this right from the beginning, Scott, right? He saw this and he said, wow, what a great idea that is. This is, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time they reach 18, but we can go 21. They can keep it in longer. But he saw this right from the beginning. He said, wow, this is great. And we have some other ideas that will be great, but this was one that just hit everybody. This was an easy one to think about. And again, that bill allowed us to do this. Otherwise, can you imagine trying to get this approved by Democrats and Republicans? Let's get together. We got it done. Also, a man who's made your life much easier because those of you that are building plants and equipment so you can give your money, ultimately you're giving your money away anyway, no matter how much you make. But he's made it a lot easier. You know, approvals for big plants used to take 20 years, 25 years, and then you'd get rejected, actually. You'd go 20 years environmentally and they'd reject you. You finally, if I think of it, a guy starts young, he starts an approval process. By the time he's middle-aged, they take a vote and he loses. It's not worth it. But we have a man that's getting these things done in a matter of weeks. And the biggest plants in the world are being built right now, and he's getting them done fast. He's getting electric plants built so that we can buy them. They're paying for them. They want to pay for them so they can open up their AI plants and they can open up their automobile plants, and lesser so. The automobiles, believe it or not, take much less electricity. You're going to have to tell me why you need so much electricity to create information. I said, what's your primary product? Information. Oh, I see. Information. It better be damn good information for the kind of money. But Lee Zeldin is a star, and he has been incredible. Thank you, Lee. And, you know, I have to say this, Scott and I were talking about it. So Lee went out to California after the fire, which should have never happened if they would have let the water flow from the Pacific Northwest, which everybody's been telling them, including me. Now I just opened it up. We literally sent in the military to open it up. But if they would have let, you wouldn't have had the fires, because you would have had a little thing called the old-fashioned way, water in the fire hydrants, as opposed to empty fire hydrants. You would have had water, and most of the houses had the sprinklers on top. No, there was no water in their sprinkler in their living room. All those fires wouldn't have started. But they did start, and I will say that Lee, the most difficult permit was Lee. I went there a couple of days after the fire, met so many people on the streets who were, in many cases, fairly wealthy people. Some very rich people. Some of the best houses in California burned down. And I said to them, so what do you want to do? They said, sir, we want to start immediately. Well, we'll get you permits. Now, the hardest permit, Lee, was the federal permit. Is that right? He got everything done in 20 days, right? The whole thing? Is that a correct statement or less? 20 days. So he got everything done, 100% ready to go. And I went for a meeting, and this mayor, who's a grossly incompetent person, she said, we're going to try and have the permits done within 2 years. Remember that? I got into an argument. I said, you mean within 2 days, right? She said, no. And I'm meeting all these people as I'm walking along the streets with the fire departments and the policemen, and they're all devastated. You know, they're still smoldering. They weren't even allowed to go in their property. The Environmental Protection Agency local said, don't go on your property, okay? We said, okay, don't worry about it. Any problem is gone. Any problem is burned. Any germs are burned. They're burned. They were burned. Nobody's ever seen anything like it, but all so unnecessary that it happened. But we got it all done in 20 days, the whole place. And yet now, still, more than a year later, they don't have permits. Almost nobody is building. So I haven't told this to Lee Zeldin yet, but I'm going to put you in charge of getting permits. I think we're going to override the local authorities, because they're never going to have it. And when I was told that there's a provision where you can override the local authority to get things done, in case of, because it's really, to me, it's a national emergency. What they've done to these people is horrible. It's just horrible. And they'll still vote Democrat. Can you believe it? After all, it's just, they get used to it. Although I must say we converted many. We'll probably convert a lot more. But I just want them to get into their houses. And I don't want a big section of the area built into low-income housing. They want to put low-income housing right smack in the middle of it. And that's not the American dream, you know? You didn't do that. And low-income housing is great. I built a lot of low-income housing, but you don't put it there. This is one of the richest neighborhoods in the world, and we're going to let those people. And I recommended strongly that everybody gets the approval, immediate approval to build a house, and you give them a 10% bonus so they can build a house 10% larger than they had before, if they want, for all the suffering they've been caused, so they can build a little bit bigger house. So Lee, if you want, will you accept the job? He's under a lot of stress. Okay, all right? Override those people. Those people are incompetent. Between the mayor and the governor, they're incompetent. They'll never get approved. They'll never get approved. So do whatever you can, Lee. There's a provision that you're allowed to do it, and I'll sign it in 2 seconds, frankly. It'll never happen. I also want to introduce a man, Frank Pasigno. Now, if you met Frank, and if you knew Frank, he's quiet, but he's actually a stone cold killer. He was one of the biggest people in business. He would have been sitting with you. In fact, now he's got a better seat because he's working for the government. He's the head of a lot of things, but the job he's done in this country is great. And he's working on Social Security and a thing called the IRS. He's working with Scott on both of them, really, but the IRS in particular. And he is a fantastic man. Where are you, Frank? Took the biggest pay cut in history. He went from being paid $35 million a year to being paid about $35 a year. I think you may have taken the biggest pay cut in history. He'd be close. He'd be one of the top 5, because a few people have done that. Few billionaires have sort of left. But Frank has gone from one of the most successful people. He worked with Jamie Dimon. I don't think Jamie likes me too much nowadays, but that's okay. I never minded that. But Frank, you are fantastic, and you're doing a great job. We appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you to the family. The director of National Economic Council, a man who's in the news a lot. You know, my only problem is I don't want to lose him. I will tell you that he's working from a big deficit because I don't want to lose him. He's so good. Kevin Hassett. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. A friend of mine, a senator who has been unbelievable. She's a tremendous woman, a tremendous, married to a great football player. Her husband is a massive man. This guy, he played in the NFL, I guess, for 11 years. He was top of the line player. I met him. I said, that's not a normal situation. Look at this guy. This guy was seriously powerful, big, and he's as nice as he is big. And she is one of our best senators, Senator Katie Britt. Thank you, darling. From Alabama. I love Alabama. We love Alabama. Marsha Blackburn is an incredible person. Unfortunately, she's running for governor. She's running for governor of Tennessee. I'd love her not to. I begged her. I said, Marsha, we don't want to lose you in the Senate. But I have to say they're lucky. They're lucky to get you because you are a talent and a great person. And you've been with me all the way, and I appreciate it. And you're a very special person. Marsha, stand up, please. And a senator who's a friend of mine, you wouldn't believe that because we went through a rough campaign together. It was nasty. We got along so well, and we actually did joint rallies. Can you believe it? He wanted to get some of the action, so he's smart. He said, would you do a rally with me? But we did joint rallies, and the press used to say, will you ever, start fighting? I said, don't worry, it'll come. He said the same thing. Don't worry, it'll come. He's a very tough guy, very brilliant guy. In fact, when I said, because I had never gone into a debate before officially, my whole life was a debate, but I'd never debated before officially. And I said, let me find out about my competition. Who are these people? Because many of them, they were senators and mostly senators and governors. And I said, well, why don't we start with this guy named Ted Cruz? Let me, he was the best student at Harvard, #1 in his class. He was the best student at Princeton or something. And he was the national debate champion for 3 years. And I said, well, I don't like that. I didn't know that. I don't like that. And he was a very good debater. I will tell you that. He's a smart guy. But I'll never forget, because he was the first one I looked at. I've just joined the ranks of politics. And the first famous, that was the Rosie O'Donnell. Remember that? Only Rosie O'Donnell? Ireland, you can keep her. Ireland has done us tremendous. The head of Ireland said, are all your people this way? We don't want that. But Ted Cruz has one thing that I like. If I ever have problems, because it's hard to get people approved, he's a brilliant legal mind. He's a brilliant man. If I nominate him for the United States Supreme Court, I will get 100% of the vote. The Democrats will vote for him because they want to get him the hell out. And the Republicans will vote for him because they want to get him the hell out too. Where's Ted? Where are you, Ted? And with all of that being said, he's a great guy too. He's a great guy. We've become friends, and he's a very effective person too. Thank you, Ted, very much. The man knows more about tax than anybody that I know. Jason Smith, Congressman, wonderful person. Thanks, Jason. Thank you, Jason. Great job. Idaho Governor Brad Little, terrific guy. Thank you, Brad. Georgia Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, who hopefully will be the governor of Georgia very shortly. They have a big race. He's leading by a lot in the polls. He was outstanding as a lieutenant governor. He's great everywhere. And I've endorsed him fully, so I don't want to, do anything that you don't know about. I have given him my complete and total endorsement. Burt Jones, where are you, Burt? Thank you, Burt. Great guy. Chief Design Officer of the United States, Joe Gebbia. Joe, thank you. Great idea, great ideas. Also, we have Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. I like Kevin O'Leary. Where's Kevin O'Leary? Come on, Kevin is so nice. He's with me 90% of the time, but when he's with me, he's really with me. Great. And we got the TikTok deal done. Who the hell thought we could do that, right? I know. I wish he wanted to buy TikTok so much, and I would have done it, but his price was slightly lower. Slightly. He's fantastic. What a good, you're an entertainer, businessman, yet the whole quality. So I appreciate. I know what you did. Having done The Apprentice, I see you on television. You have what it takes, right? So I appreciate it. And thanks for all the nice things you do. And Cheryl Hines. Where's Cheryl? Oh, married to a very, very powerful, important man. And I said, I'll tell you, Bobby, she's strong. I watched her in an interview. I said, Bobby, you keep him in line, don't you? Huh? She said, yes, I do. She's got no choice. He's doing a great job, and so are you. Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's doing a very different kind of a job, too, and he's doing things that people have wanted to do for a long time. And they didn't have the courage. So say hello to Bobby, okay? We're also pleased. My daughter, she went crazy when she heard that this was happening. I want to go. You know, she happens to be in the wrong state right now for that. But when she heard that there's a certain person that's here who's the greatest and most successful female rapper in history, Nicki Minaj. Come on. And, you know, and Nicki makes a lot of cash. Not as much as Michael Dell. Not quite. Not as much. But that's okay. But Nicki makes a lot of money, and she's generously stepping up. She's investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in Trump accounts to support the children and really the children of her incredible fans. That's great. Focus on that. Why should you give to somebody else's fans? Give to your fans. I like that. But and I just think she's great. You know, I've been hearing so much over the years because I didn't know Nicki, and I've been hearing over the years she's a big Trump supporter and a Trump fan, and she took a little heat on occasion. Her community isn't necessarily, I tell you, we did pretty damn well with that, with your community, as we say. But Nicki has been an unbelievable supporter. She gets almost as much as Mr. Wonderful over here. He's been another one that's been so good. But I'd like to ask you to come up, Nicki. Come on up. Come on. She's been such a great supporter and a great supporter of Trump accounts. And I said, I'm going to let my nails grow because I love those nails. I'm going to let those nails grow. She's so good. She's been MAGA. What can I say? She's been with us all the way, right, Alex? She's been with us all the way. And just want to thank her. And it wasn't so easy. For you, it was easier, right? You want to come up? You want to come up? Mr. Wonderful, come on up here. You've been terrific. Come on up.
Hello. Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's gonna motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, you know, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's stay right here.
On behalf of all the entrepreneurs in America, I'd like to thank you, Mr. President, because We create 72% of the jobs. Companies 5 to 500 employees, and all we care about is policy. We love policy, pro-business policy, and these accounts are fantastic for independence and support. I thank you very much. It's all about the entrepreneur, and I think you know that, sir.
Well, that was great. A little interlude. I don't know. That's better than getting Scott Bessent up. Thank you both very much. Two terrific people. When Trump accounts officially launch on July 4th of this year, every parent will be able to activate their accounts and access the funds at the trumpaccounts.gov. So it's all set up, all ready to go. It's beautiful. The site is beautiful. On that glorious day, we also expect to have commitments from generous private individuals in all 50 states, and they'll be making additional contributions for children in their own states. And already legendary investor Ray Dalio has pledged to adopt the entire state of Connecticut. That's pretty good, Michael. And thank you very much, Ray. Great legend. And today, one of the original advocates of this program has agreed to adopt his home state of Indiana, Brad Gerstner. Brad's here someplace. Where's Brad? Come on. I think Michael and Brad, would you come up here, please? Come up here. I mean, this isn't exactly Mr. Wonderful and Nikki, but I think they might be worth more money than Mr. Wonderful, right? These guys are worth a lot of money. But Brad is donating, listen to this, $250 to Trump accounts for all children under 5 in Indiana. So every children, all the children under 5, $250, and he'll be donating tens of millions of dollars more in matching contributions to millions of children all across the country. He's going to make a massive donation already. We know what it is. Brad is not only one of the most successful business people, he's the founder of the Invest America Foundation. And he's been working on this idea for years. And he was the one, he went over to see Michael. Michael loved it. And those two were a hell of a team, along with Mrs. Dell, who's been so great, Susan. I also delighted to report that dozens of major employers have signed up to add the Trump account contributions to their employee benefit packages, including Uber, Schwab, Charter Communications, and many, many others. And just today it was announced that Intel, NVIDIA, Broadcom, IBM, Steak and Shake, Coinbase, Continental Resources, and Comcast have all signed up for really big contributions. So I want to thank them. I want to have you two guys come on up. Would you say a couple of words? Brad and Michael, would you say a couple of words? That's fantastic. Only Indiana. You can't do bigger. We love Indiana, but you know, how about Indiana, Iowa? No, we appreciate it. Big numbers. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, 4 years ago, we set off on a journey to reconnect every child in America with the American dream. This president ran on a Main Street agenda that too many people had been left out and left behind. And his articulation of no tax on tips, that doesn't help rich folks. That helps those left out and left behind. No tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. And when Ted Cruz authored the Invest America Act in the Senate, and Michael Dell partnered with me to bring the private sector to bear on this, we had the opportunity that this president was willing to sign. He immediately understood the impact. That this wasn't about the wealthy folks in America. This was about the 50 million American families who will be lifted up and reconnected to the American dream, because this is now the law of the land. Forevermore, every child in America, from rural Missouri to rural Indiana, from Trenton to Compton, is going to start off life with an investment account at birth, seated with $1,000, where they privately own NVIDIA and Microsoft, all the greatest companies in this country, right? Not dependent on government, independent from government. Not more socialism. The answer to more socialism is more capitalism. This makes every child in America a capitalist from birth, and it would not have happened without the leadership of our Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, without the leadership of the Speaker and Ted Cruz in the Senate, but most importantly, and every business leader in America will tell you this, for too long, they had no access in Washington to the White House. People didn't want to hear their ideas. This president is voracious in his desire to hear from America's leaders about how to make America better. This is citizen democracy at its best. An idea that started around a kitchen table in Silicon Valley makes its way to this day. I'm humbled and honored to be here, and I'm grateful for your leadership.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you heard from Brad, the fact that this bill got passed itself was a miracle, and it creates a platform for communities, for families, for corporations, for philanthropists to add to these accounts. And in not too many years, essentially every child in America will have savings invested in the greatest companies in this country. And that will change the face of this country over the next 10, 20, 30 years. We couldn't be more excited about this and the opportunity to make a difference. The best investment a country can make is in its people, especially in its children. And this creates an incredible platform for that to occur at enormous scale. And we're excited to see it all come together. Thank you all so much.
Those are two fantastic people, I can tell you that. I want to give a very special thanks to some of the CEOs here this morning. Vlad Tenev of Robinhood, what a job he's done. Where's Vlad? What a job you've done. Young guy. Nice young guy, too. Arjun Sethi of Kraken. Arjun, thank you very much, wherever you are. Thank you. Anthony Noto of SoFi Technologies. SoFi. Thank you very much, Anthony. Right. These are the ones you read about, and Bill Ackman is here, Pershing Square, and Hock Tan of Broadcom, and so many others that if I name them, we'll be up here all day. But I just want to say that what a job you've all done. Incredible job, everybody. Just about everybody in this room. Not everybody. I'm not in love with everybody, but a couple of them I don't like very much. But if they're here, I'm starting to like them a lot better because they're here for a very good reason. I'm officially calling on all employers all across America to follow the lead of many of these amazing companies and make matching Trump account contributions to benefit for the American worker, and they're going to benefit the American worker so much. This morning, I'm also pleased to announce that Visa is creating a brand new platform which will allow credit card holders to deposit their cashback rewards directly into Trump accounts. That's a big deal. Visa, thank you. Where's Visa? The head of Visa. Thank you very much, Visa. These initiatives could not come at a better moment because there's never been a better time to invest in the United States of America than right now. Who knew it would have happened this fast? I inherited a mess. We were a country that was laughed at a year and a half ago. We were laughed at. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. Nobody even close. So, who knew this was going to take place this quickly? Right, Michael? I didn't think it was going to go that fast. I knew we were going to do it, but I thought it would take a couple of years at least. Just a couple of days longer than the first year. So it's really amazing. And just this morning, as I'm running out, I see the S&P 500 hit 7,000 for the first time ever. So I say America is back. America is back. Since the election, the stock market has set 52 all-time record highs, adding $9 trillion in value. And $18 trillion of investment is pouring into the country. It's going to be higher than that. Just over 1 year ago, we were a country that lost its way. We were mocked and scorned, and every American child will now be and have access to something that is really incredible, and they can watch directly the economic boom that's taking place. This is a boom. that's taking place, the likes of which we've really never seen. I don't think people, get it yet. Not a lot of people, they don't get it. They don't see the thousands of businesses being built, the hundreds and hundreds of massive factories that are going up all over. But they're going to start to see it. They're starting to see it. I mean, if they're modestly intelligent, if they're very intelligent, they saw it about a year ago. With us today is Craig Smith, a fourth-generation family farmer and volunteer firefighter from Culpeper, Virginia, along with his wonderful wife, Heather. Craig and Heather have an 18-month-old son and a 1-month-old that they also welcomed just recently, twin boys. And they can't wait to activate Trump accounts for all 3 of their children this July 4th. Craig and Heather. Do you want to come up here, Craig and Heather? Where are you, Craig and Heather? Come on up, Craig and Heather. Come on up. Come on up. It meant so much to them. People write letters. Every once in a while you get a letter, it just hits you. Craig and Heather, come on up. Thank you. That's great. Wow, look at this family, huh? They're a rich family now. The kids are richer than the parents. This is it's the way we want it. Thank you very much. Wow. You'd like to say something?
We just want to thank President Trump for all of his hard work and dedication to American families and farm families like ours. Farming is not always easy and sometimes margins are tight. So investments like this into our children really help us to buy diapers and formula and not have to worry about making financial decisions for them this early on. So thank you very much, President Trump.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So nice. Also joining us today is the Goins family from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Charlie works in manufacturing and he's here with his wife, Savannah, his high school sweetheart. In 2022, Charlie and Savannah opened their home to foster care, really expecting to take in 1 child, but soon they were taking in a family of 3 siblings and formally adopting them. A short time later, Charlie and Savannah also welcomed a biological daughter. Trump accounts will give each of these children a much better start in life. And Charlie and Savannah, where are you? Are you down there? Do you want to come up? Come on up here, Charlie, real fast. We're holding up a lot of big business people. We can't hold them up. Michael will take back his donation. Say what? I want my money back. Come on up here. These are great families, but there's millions and millions of families that are going to be so amazed and so happy at what's taken place. Sort of a miracle, I think. Nice to see you. How are you? How are you? Oh, look at that. So nice. Nice. How are you?
Thank you, President Trump, for having my family and me here today. My wife and I have spent the better part of our adult lives working to advance children in our community, and it was our faith that first led us to open our home to foster care, and it was God's plan that allowed us. Absolutely. And it was God's plan that allowed us to adopt 3 amazing children out of foster care, to welcome so many more, and of course, this past year, welcome our youngest daughter, Florence, into the world. It's through our experience that we've seen how opportunity, or the lack thereof, can really impact a child at the very beginning stages of their life before they even get a chance themselves. And that's why, my wife and I, along with some of the work that the First Lady is doing, we are working to help foster families and foster and adoptive families, and personally in our state with protections and support in our home state of Arkansas. every child deserves hope, stability, and a strong chance at a future, a strong future. And for young families, especially like ours, that your first priorities are, of course, your diapers and your wipes and your car seats and all that stuff. And so starting and investing into a investment account is not necessarily on the top of the priority list. And we're so thankful to have this. And I think this sends a powerful message that this administration believes that financial opportunity can start early, that it is intentional, and that it can impact every single family. And my wife and I are so excited that this administration has placed families and children like ours at the forefront of economic policy. And we're so excited for this country. Thank you.
That's a great job. I was wondering how much longer he could. Did you notice it? It's getting heavy. It's still 50 pounds or something. Right? I said, how much longer is that? And finally, it broke loose. But you could see a loving father there, couldn't you? Huh? The way he did that, right? Wasn't that a loving father? I watched that. He was grabbing. That's a great family. Thank you very much, both. Beautiful. So in conclusion, the ultimate success of the Trump accounts will be measured not just in the wealth created. It will be seen in young people buying houses that they could never have even dreamed of buying. It'll be seen in diplomas earned, companies founded, families formed, and more babies born. It'll really be seen in something where you're given a chance. You're given a chance at life, a very good chance. Above all, Trump accounts will help bring the hope and prosperity to every community that every community wants to see. And it'll bring back the American dream. The American dream is so beautiful. I would mention it all the time when I'm running. Whenever I run, I talk about the American dream because that's what we want to create. Others don't talk about it. But we have the American dream back, I think now maybe better than ever before. For generations, Washington politicians have done nothing to take from the hardworking people of our country. They take and take. They do nothing but take. They've made workers' lives harder, sent prices higher, pushed your dreams out of reach. And both parties, do the job that they were supposed to do. Some were fighting, and sometimes we fight against some of the great politicians we have here. They fight with me, most of them, and we fight to make things better. But we run into walls of other politicians that either don't want to do something or they almost feel like it's a destruction of our country. But now we're doing something much better than giving the next generation a handout. We're giving them ownership of America's future so that they can grow up, chart their own destiny, and make our nation greater and stronger and better than ever before. So I just want to thank all of the people that participated today, the great business leaders, the great celebrities, and all of the people that are in this room. You've done so much. And I just want to also give a little bit of a shout out to a lot of great politicians that are right now voting on some very important measures, plus the politicians in this room. They have really worked hard on this. This is something that it's amazing that it got done. If you knew the political process, it was very complex, very hard to get done, to get all of those votes together. But we did it, and it's going to be great for America. And Brad and Michael, thank you both very much. Special, special people. Thank you very much. And God bless everybody in the room, and God bless America. Thank you very much for being here. Thank
Champion, and you're in our wonderful Senate district, so welcome to the district. And I do want to start by saying, in the absence of Congress,
from local electeds who represent the constituents that we get to represent on a federal level. I want to start by recognizing the fact that on January 24th, ICE agents murdered another member of our community. Alex Jeremy Preddy was an ICE ICU nurse at the Minneapolis VA. He was an avid outdoorsman, a US citizen. He was an incredibly compassionate person who cared for others countlessly. This is what he appeared to be doing just before being murdered, protecting another observer that was being attacked by ICE agents. Alex's murder by federal agents was not accidental or isolated. We witnessed this during the murder of Renee Good by federal agents. ICE's reckless and lawless actions have taken a mother from 3 children, a partner from a wife, and inflicted unfathomable pain on our community. Similar to Alex and Renee, they were exercising their First Amendment right, an act that this administration has deemed a capital offense. Renee Good should be alive. Alex Preddy should still be alive. Please, let's take a moment of silence for Alex and Renee. Thank you. My deepest condolences go out to Alex and Renee's family, friends, and everyone who knew and loved them. We will not stop fighting until we achieve real justice and accountability. The level of violence, federal overreach, lawlessness carried out in the name of immigration enforcement is unprecedented. US citizens are being assaulted and detained. Minnesotans are expected to carry their citizenship papers. People are dying in ICE custody. This administration has reduced any semblance of due process, sending people out of state to prevent them from having legal representation. Doors are being broken down without judicial warrants. Chemical irritants, pepper balls, flashbangs are being used without a second thought. DHS is thriving in secrecy, obscuring the conditions my constituents are being held in. This is not the America we know. This is not the America we love. Every Minnesotan has a right to feel safe and welcomed. Earlier this month, I co-led a hearing with Representative Chaya Paul on Trump's deadly assault on Minnesota. We welcomed 27 members of Congress to hear from witnesses on what has been happening on the ground and raise the alarm. Trump and his paramilitary immigration enforcement will not get away with their unlawful attacks on our state. The Constitution is on our side, and we will fight every single day to defend it. As it's been said, real justice and accountability starts with full, transparent investigation and legal action against ICE, followed by the abolishment of the agency. ICE cannot be reformed. It cannot be rehabilitated. We must abolish ICE for good. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
You must resign.
Asshole. I don't know.
Oh my God. Oh my God, he sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing. No, we will continue.
No. Ilhan, you need to go get checked. No,
we will continue. These fucking assholes are not going to get away
you
with
need
it.
to go get checked. No, you don't know what he's doing. That's whatever it is smells so bad. She needs to go get checked. I don't know
That's
what that
that's
was.
what they want. Please don't let them know.
It's not about him, Ilhan. Ilhan, it's not about him. It's about your safety. No, he sprayed something on you. You need to go get checked. Yeah, and it smells terrible.
We're going to keep talking. Just give me 10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. I beg you. Please don't let them have the show. 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 Here is the reality that people like this ugly man don't understand or face impeachment. What an asshole. I don't know.
Oh my God. Oh my God, he
I
sprayed
need a
something
napkin.
on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing.
Smells terrible.
No, we will continue.
No. Ilhan, you need to go get checked. No,
We will continue. These fucking assholes are not going to get away
you
with
need
it.
to go get checked. No, you don't know what
No.
That's whatever it is smells so bad. She needs to go get checked. I don't know
That's
what that
that's
was.
what they want. Please don't let them have
It's
it.
not about him, Ilhan. Ilhan, it's not about him.
Please.
It's about your safety. No, he sprayed something on
Please.
you. You need to go get checked. Yeah, and it smells terrible.
We're going to keep talking. Just give me 10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. I beg you. Please don't let them have the show. 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 Here is the reality that people like this ugly man don't understand. We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw at us. Everybody settle down. I'm going to finish my remarks. It is important for me to continue to lead my Democratic colleagues in demanding her resignation. And like I said, if she does not resign, we are going to introduce articles of impeachment. This moment in US history, and particularly in Minnesota, requires all of us to be working together to preserve our democracy. When we say we are going to put our lives on the line for what is our right, we mean that. Last week, my Republican colleagues put forth a Homeland Security funding bill that includes $28 billion for ICE and Border Patrol. I refuse to greenlit funding for a rogue agency that ICE escalates violence, operates above the law, and opposes our most basic freedoms. I've already stated tonight, ICE is shooting people in broad daylight, beating up teenagers, spraying tear gas on peaceful protesters, ripping people out of their cars and homes without warrant, racially profiling people based on their accent, taking kids from schools and abducting people, shipping them far away detention camps with brutal conditions and no due process. We cannot treat this as business as usual. That's why I led the entire Congressional Progressive Caucus in opposing this bill. And we as a caucus adopted an official position, and now we have gotten all of the Democratic senators to agree to that position and hold ICE accountable. But this president's lawlessness does not stop with ICE and border enforcement. We are seeing how he's threatening Greenland and Venezuela and Iran and Cuba and Colombia. He has already taken lives in the Caribbean, and we wanted to pass a war powers resolution to hold him accountable. We are hoping for our Republican colleagues to grow a backbone and come on the right side of history. The last DC update I will mention before I take questions from you is that the House took up legislation from Minnesota member Representative Stauber that would open up hundreds of thousands of acres in our beautiful boundary waters to mining development. The boundary waters is the most visited wilderness in the US. It features peaceful, remote areas, one of the world's largest dark sky sanctuaries, and it is home to unique ecosystems, including several endangered species. And my beautiful children go hiking there and canoeing. And so it is personal to me to preserve it, not just as Minnesotan, but as a mom. Many of my colleagues here, especially Councilwoman Warren, mentioned the fact that constituent work is the backbone of what we do as your representatives. And it is no different because we are your liaison for the federal government. Our staff can please raise their hand if they're in the room. These people work for you. We can be a crucial line of advocacy for our constituents who are experiencing issues with the federal government, like irregularities, delays, and emergencies. Although it is a difficult environment we are working in right now, our duty remains the same. My district office phone line is monitored from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Congressional casework involving ICE is unique and narrow, but we can help with locating an individual detained by ICE if they are not appearing in a detainee located system within 48 hours. Inquiring on urgent medical issues to ensure an individual is receiving appropriate medical treatment, ensuring an individual's attorney or loved ones are able to communicate with them. And importantly, our office cannot provide legal advice or assistance. If you are unsure whether we can help with a specific issue, please contact my office at 612-333-1272. I'll repeat that again, 612-333-1272. And we will review whatever detail you want us to review. So far, we have worked on 800 cases with issues like Social Security, immigration, taxes, healthcare, and more. Our team has returned more than $4.8 million to our constituents, businesses, and organizations in the district. Like I said, we might not be able to solve every problem, but we will definitely make sure we do everything that we can to try. Lastly, I want to congratulate a winner of something fun that we do in Congress, which is last year's Congressional App Challenge in the 5th. The App Challenge is intended to engage students in grades 6 through 12 to create innovative apps that address real-life issues in our community. I am pleased to announce that my office selected it's a hard name. Okay. People say I have a hard name, but oh my goodness. Okay. Vet Bastodkar and his app, Brett Head, as the winner of the 2025 competition. Vet's app is youth-centered personal finance app built to challenge the culture of instant gratification through reflection and accountability. Fed is a sophomore at the Blake School in Minneapolis. He is fascinated by math, economics, participates in DECA, Model United Nations, and is a captain of his fencing team. Please help me in congratulating Fed. Oh yeah, say your name the correct way.
Yeah, my name is Ved Bastodkar,
You made it sound a
Vedbastodkar.
lot easier.
I mean, I say it every day, right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Is it me? No. All right, with that, we'll take questions.
First of all, thank you for staying after that incident.
I learned at a young age you don't give in to threats. You look them in the face and you stand strong. They pick the wrong person every day. Where's your mic? Right here.
I do not know the level of Congress. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I
don't
do
touch
not
the mic.
know the level of power Congress has over ICE, but is there anything you as representative could make efforts to try and lead to the arrest of Jonathan Ross and the multiple ICE officers that killed Alex earlier this week?
They were CBP, not ICE.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the law enforcement with the Department of Homeland Security, obviously there are investigations, even if the federal government has chosen not to fully comply in having a transparent investigation. I know Keith Ellison's office, our Attorney General. I know that our district attorney, Mary Moriarty, others have already started the investigations. And, you know, as Keith reminds us every single day, murder it's not something that has a statute of limitation. And so regardless of what these people think, we're going to make sure that they are held accountable in every way that we can.
Hi, there's so many ways to help. And one of the things I was thinking of is we have our own MPD that is stretched so thin. Is there anything that we can do to help them? I mean, could we bring in snacks to the office? You know, just anything that might help them feel better or appreciated. And along those lines, we also have the National Guard now coming in. And so we could apply that to them as well. You know, showing up with coffee, or is there something we can do?
You know,
like
I will
that?
say one thing that ICE has succeeded in doing is make Minneapolis residents love Minneapolis police. and have, I mean, I say that with the utmost respect. You know, that's only thing that they've succeeded in doing. No, I mean, it's been beautiful to really see our National Guard passing out donuts and coffee to people at Whipple. You know, any way in which you can show your gratitude. I think, you know, what has been the most important piece for all of us is, one, to remain united. Two, not to just feel grateful for those you know who are out there, but to feel grateful for everyone who's out there, because Minnesotans are showing up for one another in ways that people didn't expect. And we are showing the country and the world what real solidarity looks like. And we should be goddamn proud of ourselves for that. So yes, whether you are showing up to say thank you to protesters and, you know, people who are documenting, or saying thank you to those that are keeping the peace, whether it is the sheriff's office or MPD, I would encourage it. I would assume that would be fine with them. Well, yes, obviously you wanna make sure they're not scared that you're trying to poison them or something. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll take one right here.
I'm just curious, we've seen now multiple cities be invaded by ICE, and it seems as though they've left, right? LA, Portland. Do we have any sort of understanding of what is there a quota that they have to meet, or a certain time? How can we grasp when they could potentially leave, when their whatever objective has been fulfilled?
So what we do know now is that there is some agreement, we don't have the full details, that Border Patrol will leave. It is my understanding, you mentioned being overwhelmed. There's 5,000 of federal law enforcement that has besieged not just our city, but our state. And so it is my understanding that those that are tasked to control the border, exercising the 100-mile rule for Minneapolis, at least will leave. And the timeline was today, so they might have already gone. I saw reporting about 800 of them have already left. And so we'll be tracking that to see how many more of them leave. Generally, the way ICE used to operate is that, there's two kinds, and you've seen, our corrections department clarify this. You've seen Hennepin County talk about it. Generally, there are two paths. One is that someone has been adjudicated, they were arrested for a crime. If their crime is a felony and they were not a US citizen, oftentimes they would finish their sentence because they committed the crime against us and we want them held accountable. And then once their sentence ends, the corrections would call and say, we have someone being released at this time, on this day, in the next week or month. And they basically turn them over in the parking lot. Now, that person obviously has the right to ask for, a judge to prolong the time they're here, to contest their removal. Sometimes you hear these stories of people who've been green card holders for 30 years. They came here as a baby sometimes. And so those removals take a long time, but they are in ICE detention as they're going through those. We also used to have before, maybe 6-7 months ago, law that said you couldn't indefinitely detain people if they did not have an actual crime that they were being detained for. And we know that immigration in itself, a violation of immigration is not a crime in itself. So the other way, which is kind of what they're saying they're doing now, which is not the way it's supposed to be done. Normally, the way it gets done is that you have an order of removal for someone, and you try to find out where that person might be. You do surveillance, you talk to known people to them, you find their previous employment, you find a way, and then they do those raids early in the morning, 6 a.m., where people are not really out trying to find the person in that home or in that business that they thought they might be in. And so we do know that the way that this is being carried out, and you've seen the incidents in where, they're literally jumping out of a car or breaking a car window or trying to get into somebody's space, that is not enforcement. That is terrorizing. That is terror. And those are not the kind of tactics we are known to have in our cities. Those are the kind of tactics we're known to have cities outside of the United States where people are brutalized. And so that's why we've been so opposed to it. To right there.
Hi, I just wanted to first say thank you so much for all you're doing for us. I'm just so proud that you're our representative, so thank you. And I'm just wondering, what can we do to maybe get some of your colleagues to have the same fire you have? It's really incredibly disheartening to see folks saying we need body cams on ICE or just more training. That's really, really discouraging, and I want to see more folks follow your lead. So what can we do to put the pressure on them?
Yeah, I think we're seeing that. I mean, certainly for my Democratic colleagues here that represent you all, collectively have felt like the way that we are being terrorized and the fact that there aren't guardrails for there to be justice and accountability reminds them of the fact that many of us have been saying this since ICE was created. When it was with DOJ, there was more accountability. This version of it that we've now had to live with for a little over 20 years is not a version that allows for respect for our constitutional rights. And so I think they're doing it to themselves. They're showing these lawmakers the mistake that they made in voting for their existence, in voting to give them money, because what they are doing is just so blatantly lawless. So just keep sharing. Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were protesting. I didn't know if you were saying, don't call on her.
I would like to say that I am very proud of you as our representative. And I am so glad that you are our leader. And I want to ask something on a very personal note. I'm an immigrant. I came from the Philippines. I went and got everything that I was supposed to do. And I actually lived through the EDSA revolution. And I felt that if I could make it to the United States, I will be okay. At this moment, we didn't know how it was going to turn out, but we made a pledge, the Filipinos, that we would be there for each other. And I have seen you Minnesotans do the very same thing. And I'm very proud of you. And it is my honor to be with you. I'm asking on a very personal note. Some people, specifically me, some people did not go to their SNAP renewal. Some people didn't renew their medical because I want to be able to go home. And I have my certificate of naturalization. And the interview is supposed to be in person, but I don't know if I can make it back home. So my question is, this is some people, which is specifically me. And I didn't want to go because I'm not well behaved. And I'm not sure who would bail me out for causing good trouble. I would. So is there a way for us to submit papers? Is there a way for us? I know there's protocol, there's regulations, but where I'm supposed to go, they're staging.
Yeah.
And I can't outrun them. So I don't know. So if there's a way for us to do interviews, not in person. So I'm just asking. So I would like to have SNAP benefits. I would like to have medical.
Yeah, I hear you.
So that's my question. And I just want to ask, it's not just me, there's several of us.
And you live.
I live
Am I
in-
your representative?
Yes, you
Okay,
are.
all right, then I know where you live. Okay. They just wondering if you're in a different area than. So, you know what? I have been in the United States a month short of 30. That is 90% of the amount of time that I've been alive. So I know people talk about me in Somalia. I don't know any home the way I know this home. And so I do feel a strong sentiment towards immigrants that find home in the United States. And I know that even though I'm a congresswoman, you know, even though I'm a citizen, like I carry my passport with me because I don't want to not be able to provide. And I know that in some cases that hasn't been enough. But to answer your question, is that there are mobile vehicles that you can schedule where they will come and do the interview in a place where you're comfortable to be able to take those interviews. And so check in with your caseworker and let them know how vulnerable you feel. I will also say, you know, again, Minnesotans were just amazing. There's so many mutual aid opportunities where people might be able to help you out in other ways as well. You know, people talk a lot about illegal immigration and criminals, but what this enforcement has truly done is frighten actual citizens and documented neighbors. The children that are afraid to go to schools, the mothers and fathers that are afraid to drop them off, you know, the elderly shop owners at Caramel Mall, they're all citizens. But they don't want the trauma of seeing men with heavy machine guns, because that is who they escaped to come to the United States. They don't want to go through a checkpoint because that is what they escaped to come to the United States. They don't want a gun drawn on them asking for their identification because that's what they escaped to come to the United States. And so for me, that has been the hardest part to communicate to people, because they just don't understand how terrifying it is, one, for just the average person who has never seen this level of weaponization. But it is also severely debilitating and triggering for people who have had machine guns drawn at them at a young age and who thought their only salvation was to find a country like ours, where they never have to worry about that because there's a constitution, it's known for its liberty and freedoms. And so it's truly heartbreaking, this moment we find ourselves in. But if we know anything about US history, is that everything is temporary and we will find our way out of this. So thank you all.
Thank you all for joining us here today. I wanted to hold this press conference at Caramel Mall to highlight our incredible Somali businesses housed here. We have an extraordinary entrepreneurs who have built amazing businesses. Caramel holds a special place in my heart, and I look forward to visiting every time I'm home. This is one of the places I recommend to visitors who come into our town because it showcases our vibrant Somali community. Caramel Mall is home to more than 100 small businesses, and the owners here have seen a significant decline in business since Trump's Operation Metro Surge began. Community members are afraid to go out as a result of the occupation in our city by ICE. Not only is the federal occupation hurting businesses, the president's reprehensible rhetoric has let right-wing grifters to show up here to terrorize our community. It is indefensible. Hurting small businesses is just the tip of the iceberg. Under the Trump administration's so-called Operation Metro Surge, constitutional rights are being trampled, families are being ripped apart, and fear is being weaponized to try to beat us into submission. Federal immigration agents are terrorizing our neighbors, stopping people of color, demanding papers, detaining U.S. citizens, and brutalizing Minnesotans in the name of public safety. But we know this is not about public safety or immigration enforcement. It is state-sanctioned violence and political retribution. What is unfolding in our state is not accidental. It is part of a coordinated effort to target Black and brown immigrant and Muslim communities through fear, racial profiling, and intimidation. This administration's immigration agenda is not about law enforcement. It is about making people feel they do not belong regardless of their citizen status or the law. But our communities shall not and will not be intimidated. In the face of violence, Minnesotans have organized, protected one another, and showed love instead of fear. Two incredible Minnesotans, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, were murdered for their willingness to stand up and protect their neighbors. Now our community is reeling from their murder that were entirely avoidable. No immigration enforcement agent should ever be allowed to act as a judge, jury, and executioner on our streets. We will continue to demand real accountability. I am grateful my colleagues who have shown immense moral clarity in this moment. I will end with this. We must all do more. Everyone here understands that. Voting no on DHS funding bill is the bare minimum. Backing the resolution to impeach Kristi Noem is the bare minimum. Holding law-breaking ICE agents legally accountable is the bare minimum. We must abolish ICE. This moment demands it. And next, I want to introduce my dear friend and colleague, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley.
Thank you, Ilhan. Earlier today, we visited the sacred space where Alex Preddy was executed in broad daylight. An unarmed citizen whose last words were, "Don't hurt her." One of the many tributes that was at that memorial invoked a scripture that I love as a woman of faith, and it's Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17. Do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed. And that is what brings me here today. Do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed. I'm here as a sister in solidarity with Congresswoman Omar. I'm so grateful for her courageous and steadfast leadership. I'm here in solidarity with Movement Family, who I have been here many times shoulder to shoulder doing justice work alongside. I am here to bear witness. I'm here to listen. And I'm here to help people process their grief and their trauma. You know, we all understand that elections have consequences. But for the life of me, what I cannot understand is that when someone has a House, a Senate majority, has the White House, and accomplices in the Supreme Court, why, when you have all of that power, you would use it to enact harm on every person who calls this country home? We have an occupant in the Oval Office who traffics in hate, is hell-bent on inflicting hurt and harm and trauma on everyone who calls this country home, with a laser focus on our most vulnerable. He has governed with malice and used ICE agents to terrorize our cities, rip families apart, operating with impunity. Rogue masked agents who violate people's rights in the name of so-called law and order. Yet they detain, deport, and kill our neighbors in cold blood without due process. To be clear, none of it has kept anyone safe because it has nothing to do with public safety. Not in Minnesota, not in Massachusetts. It has everything to do with power, with control, with intimidation and oppression. Earlier today, I met immigrants who make this country great, who make this state great, who fled authoritarian regimes in Colombia, Venezuela, Syria, and Nicaragua. They came here for a better life and to make positive contributions, which they do. And they are so traumatized to be seeing in real time the very authoritarian, fascist, and cruel actions that they fled showing up here in Minnesota and in this country. All this has done is traumatize children, delay cancer patients' chemotherapy, devastate small businesses, and leave beloved community members like Renee Good and Alex Preddy dead on our streets. The last time I was here at Carmel Mall, we broke bread together amongst bustling shoppers. It was vibrant, and we laughed over sambusas and drank Somali tea together. Today, it is quiet. Oh. Today, it is quiet. It is quiet because of fear. When we were at Midtown Global Market earlier today, what is it, Lakeside? We learned that Lakeside, Lake Street, home to some 2,000 businesses, majority of which are owned by immigrants, that they are losing $30 million a month. Those are the sort of contributions that immigrants have been making to this economy. I don't know what to do about that.
Just tell me.
Okay. All right, that's okay. So the point is, this is devastating families and devastating the economy here. That's why we're here today, to stand in community, to choose community over chaos and cruelty. We're here because although there could never be justice, because true justice would mean that Renee Good and Alex Preddy and Keith Porter would still be alive. I'm not sure, guys, what to do here, but there must be accountability.
Don't use the mic.
Don't use the mic.
Okay.
Talk without the mic.
Listen, I'm the granddaughter of a Baptist preacher. I have no problem projecting. Can you all hear me? Okay. Okay, so if you want to have church, we will have church. And I mean real church. Not people who speak with a mouthful of scriptures, but walk with a heart full of hate. You know, it has been incredible to be here in community today with people who are every day choosing community over chaos and over cruelty, people who are fighting in defense of the true values of this country and in defense of our neighbors. This moment requires accountability. This week, the Senate will take up legislation to fund the Department of Homeland Security, which includes an additional $28 billion for ICE. We are calling on all senators, Democrat and Republican, to vote no, because Congress should not be funding this campaign of terror. And we can't stop there. The agents who brutalized and executed our neighbors cannot walk away freely. They must be held accountable including ICE agents. And it means impeaching Kristi Noem, who is as incompetent as she is dangerous. She is a dangerous cocktail of authority, bigotry, and incompetence, and she must be impeached. We need to abolish ICE and dismantle the systems of oppression that have gotten us to this point. So again, I thank my sister in service for her courageous leadership, for the invitation to return to Minnesota once again, to stand shoulder to shoulder with my movement family, to do right, to seek justice, and to defend the oppressed. Finally, I will say this. Donald Trump is a dictator. And the only way to beat a dictator is with defiance. I thank the people of Minnesota for your defiance in this moment, and I'm here as your sister in solidarity.
Thank you so much, Ayanna Presley. The Congresswoman, as she said, has visited Minnesota multiple times, whether it was coming with the Congressional Black Caucus to see the opportunities that exist here in Minnesota for all of us, whether it was to come and to protect our beautiful Mississippi River and stand with the Native American community, and now being here to make sure that she's standing in solidarity with us. Next, I want to call on Minnesota State Senator Omar Fateh, who represents this district.
Don't use it. No. Don't use it. Okay. Testing. Is this good?
No.
Nothing.
The mic should pick you up.
Testing.
You're fine.
I tried. Thank you, members of the public, members of Congress, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and Congresswoman Presley, and local leaders for joining us here today. As an elected of this local neighborhood in the Senate, I think we all know what's happening here is harmful and unacceptable. We can all see and call out the brutality that ICE agents, we see it on the streets and on camera. But here's what's also brutal. Closed shops and quiet hallways here in the Carmel Mall. That means small business owners and workers losing out, missing the money that keeps them in business and their bills paid here and in their homes. One of the freedoms Americans value is the freedom of fear, freedom from fear. And it is the fear of harassment, unlawful arrest, and abuse that's keeping Minnesotans in their homes right now. We need ICE, Border Patrol, and unwelcome federal agents to leave our state and to go back to where they belong. And that's testifying in front of Congress about what they've done here and who sent them. And they should be charged for their abuse of power.
Yes.
District 62 has been a lot, and that's the district that I represent. It's been through the death of George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd, the recovery from being one of the hardest hit districts from COVID-19 pandemic. It's the district in which both Renee Good and Alex Purdy has been murdered at the hands of federal ICE agents. In response to that, we've seen that our neighbors have stood up. Our neighborhoods have formed response groups. They've taken to the streets to peacefully observe and to fight back peacefully. And what we've seen time and time again is that we have the full force of the federal government putting its weight on our state and on our city. $170+ billion in this operation in a time in which they've been gutting healthcare, in a time in which they're saying there's no money to support our folks struggling with housing or our small businesses, but they have the money to to arrest and detain not only our immigrants, but US citizens unlawfully. And so we've seen these racist tactics from our federal government in the past. I'm the son of immigrants from Somalia. My father immigrated here before I was born in 1963 to Montana. He immigrated here the same year as the racist statement from George Wallace, in which he said, segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. And now we've seen that same racist tactics, it seems like coming full circle from our federal government. But we are stronger than that. And instead of our federal government wanting to make an example out of Minnesota, instead we have set an example for the nation. We've set the example of how to fight back and how to push back. And so right now, what we're calling for our congressional members and our leaders to do is that, number one, do not fund the DHS bill, to impeach Kristi Noem, to abolish ICE, and for our governor to enact a moratorium on evictions. And so with that, I want to thank you all, and I'll pass it off to my sister, Representative Aisha Gomez.
Good evening. My name is Aisha Gomez. I serve as the state representative for District 62A. We're in District 62A now, and as Senator Fata pointed out, we both represent the area where Renee Good was murdered and where Alex Preddy was murdered. Today is day 58 of the invasion of our city and our state by masked secret police acting on behalf of a totalitarian, authoritarian regime on the march. Yesterday, 22 neighbors were charged by complaint in federal court with resisting or impeding ICE. This morning, more than a dozen of them turned themselves in, had a hearing, and are now released. Attorney General Bondi tweeted out their names and photographs of them, inviting vile right-wing harassment of these neighbors. We know what this is. This is an attempt by an administration that is losing the narrative war to smear our neighbors who are engaged in constitutionally protected activities and to intimidate the 100,000 plus Minnesotans who have showed up in negative 20-degree weather, who are showing up to defend their communities who are being disappeared off the streets of our state, and who are informing their neighbors, who are bearing witness and who are documenting the rampant abuses and violations of civil rights that happen literally every few minutes in our city. But they don't know Minnesotans. For the last 58 days, our communities have lived under siege. And for people who don't live here, I think it's sort of an abstraction. But parents walking their kids to school see people kidnapped off the streets. Families are sheltering in place and not going to work, not opening their businesses, not going shopping, not going to medical appointments. You can imagine the cascading impacts of this on one small community. Minnesotans will not be intimidated. You cannot arrest all of us. You can come and try, but you are few and we are many. So I invite all Minnesotans on Friday at 8 a.m. to join community leaders, clergy, and those of us standing up to this incursion at the Whipple Federal Building, to say to President Trump and Attorney General Bondi, if you want to take these 22, you have to come and take the other tens of thousands of us who are mobilized in this moment. That same day, Friday, January 30th, there is a nationwide shutdown, and we will be gathering in downtown Minneapolis at 2 p.m. And finally, to our beautiful, resilient community of the South Side and of Minneapolis and of Minnesota. We all work for you, and I can speak for all of us and say that we have never been so proud to be Southsiders in our whole lives. We are showing the world what it means to stand up to Trump and Bondi and Noam and Bovino and any bully that they want to send our way, and to do so not with violence and with guns, but with whistles and with love and with care. And we're going to continue. Thank you.
Now we will hear from Minnesota State Representative Anam Mahmoud, who is one of the newest members of the Minnesota House.
I just want to say thank you to Representative Omar and Presley for standing here today with our communities. Speaking truth to federal outreach taking place right now is in itself an act of bravery. Look at what happened last night to our Congresswoman at a similar event. We cannot let this silence us right now in the face of injustice. Firstly, I want to recognize the lives of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. They put themselves between Black and brown neighbors and unconstitutional attacks by ICE. I stand with our observers, our immigrant communities, and we condemn state violence. What we see taking place in Minneapolis, in our districts, across the metro, and at the nation at the hands of ICE is not okay. It is cruel, unconstitutional, and politically motivated. While Bovino may be gone, we all know the work of ICE to tear our communities apart and strike fear is very much still with us and happening as we speak. This work has not slowed. Right now, I see neighbors who are terrified to leave their homes, and families who are sick about loved ones who didn't come home, only to learn of them a few days later in El Paso, in an ICE detention center. While we look at every avenue as elected officials, both locally and federally, to protect our neighbors, I know that we right now, one of the most important tools being against the federal government to the table is the court of public opinion. When the polls flip, Trump begins to worry. Our activated neighbors protesting, observing, and doing mutual aid work right now are so important in making sure the nation sees what is taking place and that the federal government is held at some level of account, and we are protecting those at risk in our communities. May one ask is that you don't lose hope right now. Continue to speak truth about the injustice at every opportunity, and that you remain active in this fight. I'll be standing with all of you.
And lastly, we will hear from City Council woman Aisha Chaktai, who represents Ward 10, where we are at.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Aisha Chuktai. I live in the Whittier neighborhood. I'm a South Sider, just 5 blocks away from the site where Alex Preddy was executed in broad daylight on Saturday morning. I want to tell you a little bit about this neighborhood. Whittier, we affectionately call the International Neighborhood. This is home to one of the youngest communities in our state. The largest census tract of children under the age of 18 live in this neighborhood. We are home to a 90% renter community where a large number of families are cost burdened. We are home here in Carmel Mall, which is the largest cultural mall in the state, where 100 plus businesses serve our community every day. Minneapolis, South Minneapolis is going through an unspeakable crisis right now. And as we are seeing masked agents of chaos, murderers and child kidnappers come into our community and occupy us and steal and abduct our beloved neighbors, hundreds and hundreds of you are stepping up, and you are getting your whistles and you're getting trained, and you're showing up every day to make sure that not one more family gets taken from us. Not one more family gets stolen from us. In this moment, thousands of families in the Twin Cities and across our state are sheltering at home because the choice in front of them is whether they're going to lose their life or they're going to lose their home come Sunday, February 1st. There are two things every single person can do right now. First, you can organize. If you don't live in Minneapolis, if you are not under occupation right now, people like Tom Homan and Kristi Noem are not going to stop here. They may be coming to your city next. You need to get organized, get to know your neighbors, figure out how you are going to keep families together. This is the most important task in front of us right now. The second thing every person can do is join Southsiders in calling our governor, Tim Walz, former vice presidential candidate, to enact an eviction moratorium right now to help keep families together, help keep families in their homes. I'm really grateful to Congresswoman Omar and Congresswoman Presley for their work in Washington to rein in this out of control, murderous regime. And I want to thank all of you for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Aisha. And with that, we will take a few questions.
What is your message?
We'll call on top.
Congresswoman Omar, any concern about doing events like this? Any fear after what happened to you last night?
Well, I think my presence here should tell you that the fear and intimidation doesn't work on me. And you know, you and I have talked about this many a times. This the president's rhetoric, the attacks from him since I've gotten into public office from the right wing has always been really to stop me from being in public service, to intimidate me, to make me want to quit. And my only message is it hasn't worked thus far, and it's not going to work in the future.
Congresswoman,
this rhetoric for what happened last night, I'm wondering what, if anything, you heard from the Republican Congress.
You know, blame is very interesting, but facts are more important. And what the facts have shown since I've gotten into elected office is that every time the President of the United States has chosen to use hateful rhetoric to talk about me and the community that I represent, my death threats skyrocket. For 4 years, since when he was in office, the first 2 years I was state rep. And the last 2 years, I was a member of Congress. It was maybe my second or third week when he started attacking me. I became a freshman who nobody should have actually known I existed because I wielded no power, to having the most death threats of any member of Congress. To the point where I had to have 6 Capitol Police officers providing 24-hour detail to me and my family. He left office. Well, he was defeated. And Biden got elected. And for 4 years, it almost plummeted. Then he came back into office and he reassumed his vitriol. And now my death threats are the highest of the members of Congress. And last night, the man that attacked me was specifically upset that Trump's order to deport Somalis was not yielding enough deportations of Somalis. So he wanted to come get the person he thought was protecting the Somalis. Well, we are protected by the Constitution. That's right. I'm sorry to tell you the truth. We are protected by the Constitution. And so I do believe that the facts of the situation are that I wouldn't be where I am at today, having to pay for security, having the government to think about providing me security if Donald Trump wasn't in office and if he wasn't so obsessed with me. It is ironic that just last night he was on stage moments before I was attacked, talking about me. And then when asked about my attack, he said, I don't think about her. Does he not remember? Is he suffering from dementia? How do you spend 20, 30 minutes on stage obsessing over me by name multiple times, and then moments later say, Ilhan Omar, I don't think about her. So hopefully that answers your question. We'll take one more question. We'll take one more question from the Somali reporters.
Ilhan, last night, what happened was shock to us.
You're not going to ask it in Somali?
Okay. And xalay waxaa lagu dhacay arrin weerar lagugu soo qaaday anigu meesha ayaan fadhiyey ninkaasi feerka aad u sii leexisay marka dagaal maa baratay maseexeed adigaa rabo inaad
Well, liibaan aniga waa isnaqaana. Inta dad oo Soomaali yaqaano way og yihiin dagaalka inaan ku fiicanahay. Way og yihiin haddee gabdhaha Soomaalida oo wiilal walaalo la soo koro inay barteen sidii qof liskaga dhiciyo. Marka waxaan leeyahay haddii uusan security-gayga ninkaas dhulka ula dhici lahayn gacanteeda way gaari lahayd. Marka nasiibuu leeyahay. Yeah? Okay, thank you everyone. Have a good night.
Just a few hours, Borders' Tom Homan will hold a press conference in Minneapolis after meeting with local officials.
It comes as new video appears to show Alex Preddy in a confrontation with federal agents just days before the deadly shooting. Lucas Tomlinson joins us live in Washington with all the details. Hi, Lucas.
Well, good early morning, Carly and Todd. A new video has surfaced showing the 37-year-old Department of Veterans Affairs ICU nurse Alex Preddy spitting at federal agents and kicking a government vehicle, resulting in the destruction of the back right taillight and some questioning Preddy's reputation for being nonviolent. The incident took place 11 days before he was shot and killed by federal agents. Those federal agents were placed on administrative leave. A family representative confirms it's Preddy. In the video, the family knew about the incident and that Preddy was injured but did not receive medical care. A family attorney says, quote, a week before Alex was gunned down on the street, despite posing no threat to anyone, he was violently assaulted by a group of ICE agents. Nothing that happened a full week before could possibly have justified Alex's killing at the hands of ICE on January 24th. Here was Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey last night.
There was a general agreement that what has been happening for these last several weeks should not be happening into the future. Now, I made it very clear that Operation Metro Surge needs to end.
Did Tom Homan say he would end it?
He did not make a commitment to ending it on any given timeline. However, my hope, my expectation is that the troops and the agents we're seeing will be drawn down.
A new Fox News poll shows President Trump's performance on border security, 52% approve, 47% disapprove. And another poll shows 59% of voters say ICE is too aggressive. Another poll shows 49% of registered voters think local governments like Minneapolis should cooperate with ICE. Mayor Frey says he does not plan to do that. Border Czar Tom Homan will hold his first news conference in Minneapolis at 8 a.m. Eastern after replacing Greg Bovino as the lead of ICE operations in the city. Carly, Todd?
All right, we'll be certainly watching that. Lucas Thompson live for us.
Yeah, it's a delicate situation and negotiation because somebody is going to have to give, and how give are they going to give? And also, what type of potential political hit will they take? Tom Homan's been clear from the very start of what ICE wants from local communities, including sanctuary cities, and that is to let ICE into the jails, to prioritize those public safety threats in the country illegally, allow state and local law enforcement to work alongside ICE to help them achieve their mission and also provide some level of protection and honor all of these detainers. That is, stop re-releasing these criminals in the country illegally back out onto the street, turn them over to ICE to be handed off. So I expect Tom Homan this morning to restate the case of the White House, which has said, look, this would not have been as messy as it has been if sanctuary cities were to work more collaboratively with us.
And look, Charles, I completely understand that threading the needle on this is extremely difficult. But do you share the concern that many other people have shared, that a concession by the White House on any part of this will just leave
Here to weigh in, Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. I'm going to get to what Lindsey Graham said on this program last night. We've got to have a bill. It's got to pass now. We have got to stop any support for sanctuary cities and states. And those people that have implemented those policies, in my mind, are aiding and abetting in the law breaking and obviously helping to obstruct justice. Is there any part of my legal analysis that's wrong?
No, it's 100% correct, pointing out that the fundamental problem, Sean, is cities like Minneapolis who mistakenly think they have a right to declare themselves sanctuaries for illegals. Well, I got news for them. Giving sanctuary is against the law. Specifically, the law passed by Congress. Democrats voted for it. Bill Clinton signed it back in 1996. That law requires states and cities to cooperate with ICE requests, and that means honoring detainers. Now, the state's prison system does that in Minnesota, but the Minneapolis jail system absolutely refuses. As a result, violent criminals are released onto the streets to re-victimize citizens. Ignoring that legal duty carries a punishment under that law. A city can lose federal funding, tens of millions of dollars. And if that doesn't get their attention, there is yet another law. Prosecution is an option because it is a crime to harbor or shield somebody here illegally, which is what Minneapolis is doing. The statute is 8 U.S.C. 1324. Anybody can look it up. It's pretty clear. So, Sean, it's so hard to believe that any sensible person could ever object to making a community safer by arresting and deporting alien criminals who victimize innocent people with violence like murder, rape, kidnapping, child abuse. But, these Minnesota protesters are siding with the criminals. So is Waltz and Fry, both of whom are ginning up the street rage, all to protect the worst of the worst under the masquerade of some imagined state authority that exists nowhere in the law.
Right.
Protesters don't have veto power over immigration enforcement.
Let me ask you about this video of Freddie from 10 days prior. And I'll concede what his lawyer is arguing that, okay, even though we see a very aggressive, to me, violent looking, spitting at law enforcement, confrontational individual that is armed, I mean, what does that tell us about the mindset of somebody? I mean, my understanding is his own father was begging him not to do this, not to go to these things and be involved in this. But clearly, that is not a good look for him.
Well, it shows his state of mind. An angry person who is expressing his rage with assault, spitting at an officer is assault, obviously attacking a federal government vehicle and destroying the property. And then he seems to resist to some extent the arrest. It tells you a lot about his mindset that then extended a week later when he intervened, when a different group of officers, Customs and Border Patrol, were trying to fend off a protester. He gets involved, resists arrest. He's committing crimes all over the place. Now, it's tragic that he lost his life, and it may be a case of, mistaken perceptions when the shooting occurred, which invokes the imperfect self-defense. But that video tells a lot about Alex Preddy.
All right, Greg Jarrett, thank you for that analysis. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most
Dang, you guys, I'm like, I'm falling asleep here. So there was a lot. Oh, what do you say here? Speaking of, here are you guys. Oh, wait. Let me pat my hair down. Whatever. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. I just look a mess. I don't care. Speaking of okay, and you remember how I said my little man was sick? Well, he was okay all along, faked me out, and now he's sick for I'm checking up on him soon. Oh, Dr. Manhattan, Percy, a little guy. Oh no. Propaganda Rage channel is on again. Rage channel. What are you talking about? Okay, guys. So I seen that with Alex Preddy. I can't be biased here. I can't say for sure that's him. I want to see a face, like a picture of him, because wouldn't I see you, nurse, be out there kicking trucks and stuff like that? I don't know. Anyways, nobody should lose their life. Can y'all hear me? Nobody should lose their life for their beliefs, but these protests are not peaceful. They're far from peaceful. As for Ilhan Omar, some people are saying it was staged. My thing is this. Can y'all hear me? I'm talking low because my babies are asleep. Lorenzo, what'd you say? No, I missed a lot of your comments. I can't see your comment, Lorenzo. I hope you're okay. My thing with her is this. If something hit me in my face, liquid, and I work in a medical field, the first thing I'm gonna do is flush my face. That's just natural. And the team that she had there, some of them were healthcare professionals. They want to flush out her eyes, put water on her, or maybe not even water. If it was burning, I would use water, but I definitely would go to the hospital. I would not sit there and speak to the people. I would want to make sure that I was okay. That's all I'm saying, okay? Whether we're staged or not, I don't know. I don't know this guy's history, but my natural reaction was to make sure that I was okay health-wise. That's it. You hear me fine? Thank you, Claude. Not chase him, Jesse. Well, I'm feisty, so I might try to chase somebody. All right, but after, because at first you're shocked, so you don't really know how you're going to act. But why? I would go to the hospital right away. Anybody would have rushed her off the stage. So I have questions. I have questions about the finances surrounding her and stuff like that, but it's not the stream for that. I wanted to talk about this incident with her. I have to watch my words here. Being sprayed on. How about that? I don't know, you guys. I don't know. My only thing is with liquid, we all know that could be anything, a hazardous attack, and I would go to the hospital. I would not just assume that it was okay. And that's just my thing, and I'm going to leave that there. What else did I talk about? Donald Trump accounts. a big deal. I've seen a lot of people talk about tax cuts and other things like that, which is fine. But to put $1,000 in kids' accounts where the family earns 150 or less, and what is it? Oh, has to be under 10 years old, is a big deal. It could be a life changer for a lot of families. We're talking about generational wealth now. So I don't see why people aren't talking about that. I was really hoping that more of you would talk about that. And thank you that more respectful in my chat, whether you agree with me or not. Fronia, Dr. Manhattan, and Uncle Claude, you guys held my chat down because, baby, you guys with those comments tonight. Are y'all okay? I don't like to censor my chat, but you guys have to be respectful, at least. I mean, you don't have to like what I'm saying, but, you know, YouTube has certain rules and guidelines that we all have to go by. He took his cue too quickly, messed it all up. Jesse, I hear you. She didn't act natural. She should have started speaking again, but then he would have stopped his cue. My thing was, hey, Dropper. That's okay, Fronia. No, you're good. I was thanking you guys for mine. My thing is, I would have gotten medical attention. I'm not blaming victims. If this guy did attack her and it wasn't staged, it shouldn't happen, regardless if I like Ilhan, what she stands for or not, okay? That's neither here nor there. I'm going to say the same thing I said about Charlie Kirk. I'm going to say the same thing I said about anybody. You should not lose your life or get harmed just because you have opposing points of views. Now, if she staged it, then shame on her, okay? Yeah, I'm in my piano room. I'm sorry, but yes, they should, if they're going to make their business disrupting law and order. Are you a third input gal? I don't know what that means. The streets are not safe. The streets are not safe. She didn't plan that far ahead. Just got up to follow the speech. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was interesting. Feronia, right? Omar is fake, a total criminal. I need to speak more about Omar. I haven't really spoken that much about her. I've been following Madani and a lot of other stuff. There's just a lot of things going on in the country. Marjorie Taylor Greene lost her mind. Okay? I don't know what the hell is wrong with her. I don't know if she's trying to make a bid for herself to go for a Senate. I don't know what her issue is. I don't know. But there's a lot going on. Clout got up to her real fast. Careful what you say. ICE might be at your front door tomorrow, and I give them a glass of water. Okay? I make sure they were hydrated for all the work that they're doing. He's fake too. Hey, Chris, let me look at my phone because I can't get to your comments tonight, especially with my brain being tired. But I want to get to some of them. Let me use my phone to see it. I can do it better. All right, let's see. Extra ice, mercy. Anybody can debate without bringing up race and being ugly, calling people's names. Exactly. My mods are pretty good at getting those comments, but there's a lot of comments, so I'm sure that we miss a lot. I feel that when people start bringing up race and with their insulting comments, it's because they don't have the facts to back up what they're saying. So a lot of people will start name calling just to hide the fact that they don't know what they're talking about. Because if they knew what they were talking about, they'll fight with facts and not insults. Why would ICE go to her? She's not a criminal. EJ twice. I don't know why they say such ignorant things, but you can't reason with unreasonable people, so I don't even try. I disagree. I think that the same place is supporting what's right, and Donald J. Trump cares more about America, and it's so clear for us to see. Oh, that's what I was going to say. You know what? How are they blaming Donald Trump for what happened to Ilhan Omar? There was somebody in my comment sections, and I like him, pressing on. He comes to my chat, but he's in my comment section, it's public, and I'm looking at his comment, and he's talking about this is what Donald Trump did. How did Donald Trump was not in a room with Omar. You guys can't blame Donald Trump for everything. Do you know that crime was higher during the Biden administration? Nobody said, oh, President Biden, this is your fault. But everything that happens in the United States is Donald Trump's fault. Donald Trump is not responsible for all the with Donald Trump in office, the crime rate is lower. It has been lower. And even though he gets a lot of pushback from the states, because Federal law can't just come in. There's state laws that prevent some of this stuff, and they have to go to court, and there's all kind of things that's happening. But Donald Trump has crime rates lowered, stopping the drugs from coming into the country. Everything is not Donald Trump's fault. You got people pushing back because the way that people are making money and some of the things that was happening in the United States, Donald Trump has put a stop to it. So he gets called names. People push back a lot because a lot of people are benefiting from these crimes that are committing in the country, but we don't want to talk about it. Why would anybody fight? And there's nothing wrong. People want to say undocumented workers because it sounds prettier than illegal immigrants. But if you enter this country illegally, that's a crime, and that makes you an illegal immigrant because there are legal immigrants. So there's nothing wrong. I'm not looking at the chat because y'all been going off on me all day. There's nothing wrong with saying illegal immigrants. Why soften it up? Because by making it pretty, it's like, oh, just let them come over here. They're just undocumented workers. They're undocumented, period, and they're illegal. They're illegal. It's a crime. And the fact that Donald Trump wants to clean that up, that's why America put him in office. That is why the Biden administration did not win their campaign, because America was not going for the open border policy that the Biden administration allowed to happen. If you guys were really against illegal, deportations, you would have been against it during the Obama administration when he was in office, because he deported, if not more, illegal immigrants than Donald Trump. But nobody talked about it. Nobody did, and there was no pushback. So America is absolutely for protecting the borders. And Donald Trump is doing what the other Democratic presidents tried to do. He's just, I'm not going to say anything more about that. I'm going to leave that alone. Why did Omar actually walk closer to her attacker after? Yeah, Jeff. Now, I'm going to say, to be fair, maybe it was a shock response at first. You know, the first thing you want to do is fight back. And I can see myself fighting back. And I'm kind of, I'm a thick girl. But I can see, I'm still a woman though. I could see myself fighting back if something hits me in the face. But the moment I came to, I'm going to want to wash that liquid off my face. That's going to be my first response. Washing that liquid off my face. Get into a hospital, making sure that it was no, who knows? It could have been piss for all she knows. Who knows? So to still speak, you could have done a press conference later. You see, she did a press conference. That makes me feel a certain kind of way. That's all I'm saying. If anything, Obama got praise for his deportations. Facts, Barry. Facts. Why, okay. Man, broken English from a born and raised citizen is hilarious. The left changed the meaning of the words. That was planned, stage. Come on. That was the question I was asking you guys. That was the question. Re-enter the country after already being deported once, illegally crossing the border a second time is a misdemeanor. Is it a misdemeanor? It's not a felony? I'm hitting up the dude that sprayed her with the apple cider seed. So for myself is. So get real, the overall cost we can afford, just like the wall foods to be done. Okay. I mean, and you guys don't have to agree with me, but at least be reasonable. At least be reasonable. Okay. Entering, oh God, here we go. Let's entertain Jack K. Let's entertain him. That's completely incorrect, says the left. Entering country without permission is not a crime in America, but it is, unless we all know there's a certain thing called a refugee. There's a certain person, and you always have somebody that wants to take my words out of context. They want to scrutinize it and just say things like, that is not correct. Listen, bro, calm down in the chat, okay? It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and I think I lost all of my political correctness. It is correct. Nobody's talking about seeking asylum, because the people that are fighting over here are not seeking asylum. A lot of them. We are talking about illegal immigrants, okay? So just calm down in the chat and try to keep up. That's exactly what we're talking about. If you come into this country illegally, you don't see all these people seeking asylum, okay? That's what I'm talking about, and that's specifically what I'm talking about. I've spoken about, I just mentioned immigrants, people that came here. Refugees is a whole different conversation. And it's obvious that I'm talking about people that entered illegally and not people seeking asylum. And you probably aren't even talking about asylum. You probably just are there trying to argue and find something wrong. You probably don't even know what the word means. You know, they have a protocol for politicians when stuff like that happens. Michael, my point is, yes, they have a protocol. Even if she was in shock, her team would have taken her to the hospital. And when she's like, no, 2 more minutes. Do you know what could happen in that 2 minutes? Do you know? I would have gotten her to a hospital, get examined, and now I got to follow what's going to happen with the guy who did it. I don't know. Seek asylum from their vacation spot, Jesse. These people, let me see. One can seek asylum in a USA embassy if they know where to go. Yeah, but if you come here and you're, running, say your country's at war or something like that, or you are maybe in a Muslim country and you're speaking out for women's rights or things like that, I get that, but that's not the majority of that's not what I'm talking about. These people kept asking her layups. I swear the difficulty level for Democrats is easily compared to Republicans. Yeah. But good comment, Catwalk. I bet you it was water. I think they said it was apple cider. I think it's been confirmed, Jesse. I read it was apple cider. She wasn't gonna mess with that $1,000 sweater. Hey, Chris. That is the danger of liberals. They make shit up and they spread the word like they're facts. It is dangerous. It's very dangerous to do. Speaking of liberals, I like to use that example of the doctor, the OBGYN doctor, who was asked, what should have been a simple question? Can men have babies? And she could not say yes. No, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. No, I'm speaking like liberal. She could not say that men can't have babies. So they tried to re-ask the question, redirect it. She stuttered, and we're talking about a medical doctor, an OBGYN. That's how scary these times have become, where people are afraid to say that men can't have babies. I talked about this podcaster. He's got over 1 million followers, and he said that men can have periods. Periods? What? Man in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you're a man that can have a period. Okay, because I want to interview you. So am I in a right crowd chat? My chat is mixed. My chat is mixed. Been a long time since I seen you, Chris, and his favorite peoples. Hey, ACV is good for you. He was looking out for her health. You guys. So I play these videos so you guys can see for yourself, and then we can have conversations about it. I hold a lot of my comments and my thoughts back so we can talk about it. For those immigrants, Richard says, who have followed the due process to be here legally, why are they not standing with those who are attacking law enforcement? They love to be here and act accordingly. Exactly. Ain't no about. You can have an opinion here. Just make it a good one. Jesse, you said a word. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome, whether you're from the right or left. I hold my comments a lot, even as comments and sometimes racial slurs, y'all. Y'all know you can't race bait. Now, I'm not going to get upset about your comments. If anything, my mods will remove you. I don't like my mods to block you guys, but my mods mod my chat, so I'm not going to step in. The only time I step in is if I'm like, well, you know, but they mod my chat and they do an excellent job. It's hard to mod this chat. I let, whether you're right, left, liberal, everybody's welcome here. Just don't try to change me or convert me, because I believe what is true and what's best for the country is what I stand on. I stand on this Constitution, and that's not going to change. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump being in office. I will support any president that is in office, but I will vote Republican. But I can't. When Obama was in office, I made my commentary. I supported the commander-in-chief because he was the commander-in-chief. So why can't the left do the same thing? Donald Trump is in office for the next 3 years. And what we're seeing in Minnesota is not a peaceful protest. It's a bad look on America. And just because people are not getting their way and they want illegal immigrants here, it's just not going to happen. I mean, it's happening. That's happening. But to want ICE agents to withdraw and just keep allowing it to happen is a threat to our country. It's a threat. and it takes a toll on our economy. It takes a toll on our healthcare. It's just it's not putting America first. And it's time that we put America first. We took care of American citizens. And if you come here legally, you are welcome here. But if you come here illegally, you have broken a law against the United States. Now, I need an update on Maduro. Hopefully I'll have something for you guys soon, because we all know what happened with the Venezuelan president, and Donald Trump is just doing what he has to do. And it's really hard because it's just hard to see some of the things that's said. Again, the comment in my comment section about Ilhan, Omar, and you guys blaming it on Donald Trump, I think people are just looking for any reason to be upset with Donald Trump. There's plenty of things that you can be upset about, but when I see you nitpicking like that, it makes the conversation a little mute. That's what I'm saying. I remember we used to ride the bus together. Chris, do I know you? What are you talking about? Let me move on. What are you talking about? Ride the bus. I'm not gonna worry about. What are you talking about? I'm too tired to figure out what you just said about riding the bus. Someone was talking earlier yesterday about how the right has to compromise and maybe pause deportations. And pull back on ICE, avoid a government shutdown. That would be costly in the end. I agree with you. No, it's okay, Michael. I do it all the time. And I do it all the time, Michael. You're good. I'm praying that you get healthy and strong, and you're gonna beat the big C. Okay, Chris, you're awesome, but I don't know what you're talking about the buzz. Okay. All right, just calm down in my chat. Oh, what was I talking about before I saw Chris's comment? I forgot about that dude. Mount High. I use talk to text as well as, yeah, I use it too, and it doesn't come out perfect. It's okay, Michael, you good. Well, you know, we're just having a conversation. Darn it, what was I saying, you guys? Oh, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be said. What are you talking about? Chris, what are you talking about? I can't right now. I can't with you. Maduro, thank you. Was I talking about Maduro? We're watching Maduro. People did not like that Donald Trump went over there and grabbed Maduro. I don't think that's what I was talking about, but people don't like that Donald Trump grabbed Maduro. But they didn't have a problem when Biden. I could play that. I won't play it tonight, but I could play that press conference when the former president Biden talked about going over to Venezuela to get Maduro. He put a bounty on his head, 25 million, and everybody was for it. Nobody said, "Oh no, please don't go over there and do that. It's gonna make the United States go to war." Nobody said that. Donald Trump talked about it his first term, and then his second term, he picked up Maduro. Okay. Oh yeah, I love Dr. Manhattan. He's one of our favorites here. Well, I'm up. Okay, you guys, I need to go to bed. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Michael, you're gonna be great. It was good seeing you. My spell check was a hypocrite saying I spelled something wrong. No, Lorenzo, you guys are good. My wife says it's a lie when we don't remember what we say. Damn it, I'm just tired. I'm so sorry. I got distracted because you got old boy saying that he knows me and caught the bus together. I'm sitting over here talking about Trump and he talking about bus rides a long time ago. So I'm gonna take my butt to bed. Chris, don't do that, fool. Don't do that. African, you guys, I love you guys. Veronia, Dr. Manhattan, Claude. Thank you guys for holding me down tonight. You guys, I just had these conversations to spark. I just have these conversations. It's not to get you all upset and mess up your day. It's just so that we can understand each other and talk about things that's happening in the country. I'm praying for the country and I'm praying for you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Good night. Tom, let me get you out of here. Shut up. I'm gonna leave on a good note. Bye, you guys. Damn it. Yeah, I'm gonna take my butt to bed. Good night, Jerome. Thank you for hanging out. Chris, chill out. Bye, you guys.